at all the hoops you are jumping through because of the existence of this stat. So guys, as you know, GGG announced that they were going to do a patch to the loot, the 0.2.0 G patch. So they released the patch notes for the actual patch. And they also released the patch, but it was bugged and they had to roll it back. And the rollback just took down the server and I can't play the game. The servers are down. They made me open fucking Diablo 4, dude. That is fucked up. But hey, it doesn't matter. Let's go over the item changes in Path of Exile 2. They say, one of the things that we have had a lot of feedback about is item drops feeling unrewarding in various situations. Over the last 2 weeks, we have done a major rework to item drops in order to try and address these issues. We are going to be deploying these changes in 0.2.0G later today. That didn't happen, now it is going to be tomorrow, no big deal. Or well, if you are seeing this on YouTube, today. In order to control the items that monsters drop, they primarily have 2 stats added to them. Monster item quantity is a stat that increases the number of items that are dropped. Monsters item rarity, on the other hand, determines how good the items are that drop. Dude, over 60% of you are not subscribed. Why? Why are you like this? Just click the sub button, my dude. It is quick, it is easy, it is free. You get content, I get a sub. Win-win situation, just click the sub button, my dude. In order to prevent too much item spam, in Path of Exile 2, we want to rely on item rarity more and item quality less. I like this, by the way. Because you have several ways of doing this. Or you get a lot of items and the quality the rarity, the quality can be wild. So sometimes you get something good or sometimes you get something bad. Or you give me little bit of things, but the little bit that you give me is actually good. I prefer the second one. So that is apparently what they are aiming to do. This means that the effect that monster item rarity has on your item needs to be powerful and noticeable. Currently, we believe that this stat is not affecting drops enough. By the way, I believe that when they are talking about monster item rarity in here, they are not talking necessarily of your stat on your gear. They are talking about a hidden variable they have for monsters. Our rarity is another thing that multiplies or it adds with that shit. So it is not the same thing. For example, when a wisp has possessed a monster, it gives the monster +2 drops and 300% more monster item rarity. The rarity is further increased by each monster that the wisp affected as you were chasing it. That is cool, by the way. This should in theory result in noticeably better item drops, but in practice it doesn't feel meaningful enough. Yes, because you are adding the 300% more item rarity to a shit that suck dick. So you are not getting anything out of it because the baseline sucks. So you have to upgrade the baseline itself. This is just one example, but this problem affects drops game-wide from all monsters and chests. At least they are recognizing it. By the way, I told you guys, in the first announcement they did for this patch, they only said that they were going to do the boss drop protection. And everybody, including myself, said that is not enough. Loot sucks across the whole game, not only in bosses. And I told you guys, in these 2 weeks that have passed, they are going to change their minds and they are going to improve it in the whole game. And look, here it is. We still don't know if it will be good enough, but at least they are doing something to it, right? I told you they were going to, they would have to do it because everybody was saying, it is not only bosses, it is the whole game. So let's continue. We are making some very significant changes to the way that item rarity affects the items you get. Here are some of the highlights. We modified the rarity value at which normal items no longer drop. This means that unique bosses will never drop normal items except for a select few early in the game. That is fucking cool, not getting bullshit from bosses, okay? We have halved the amount of rare gold drops. This means that if you roll a rare item, you get more rare equipment or rare currency instead of gold. Rare gold piles are now twice as large, so you still get the same amount of gold as before on average. This is fucking good because I don't know if you guys knew this, but this was something fucking stupid. If you get a roll for a rare gold, so when you see a stack of gold that is 10k or more, that is in there instead of an item. So you were losing an item because of that gold. Just so you know. Okay. Gold, magic currency, quality currency, flasks, charms, and runes are now much less likely to drop from monsters with high item rarity. These three changes generally result in around 20 to 30% more rare currency, exalted, alchemist, regal, etc. But this will also mean that magic currency, quality currency, flasks, charms, and runes will be rarer, right? Maybe they will increase in price because they will be rarer, right? So let's see how it is up. Maybe it is not that impactful because you will still get enough of them. We have to wait and see what happens. Tier 2 rares now drop 4 times more often. Tiers 3 to 5 now drop 30% more often. The mods of tier rares have also been improved by cutting out more low-level mods, making them better on average than before. This is great. Nobody's going to complain about this. Tier 2 and higher magic items now drop around 5 times more often. The low-level mod calling of tier magics has been significantly improved, with tier 2 now calling 50% of the mod range. This is awesome because why the fuck do I want a item that can roll higher tiers if they always drop, because of luck or bad luck, they roll lower tiers? It is stupid. Tier 5 magic items will usually only roll the highest mod available for a given type. This means that tier magic items should be a much better starting point for crafting or recombination. Because as you know, magic items are basically the most worthless. People are looking or for good rares or for good bases, white bases, normal bases. Magic items in the middle suck dick. Nobody wants them. These changes significantly improve the effect that item rarity has on the quality of the items you receive. Overall, you should see significantly better items when killing more challenging content. One side effect of this change would have been to make player item rarity that you get on mods. Now they are talking about the one that you get on your items. Now they are talking about that one. That you get on mods on your gear more valuable also, which is not our intention. So they don't want item rarity to be OP like in Season 1. It will still be a little bit OP, but we will talk about that in a bit. In order to counter that, we have reduced the effect that these mods have. So they basically nerfed item rarity again, because they are buffing the base loot. Which, by the way, I agree because I've been asking for this. Nerf rarity and buff the base loot. But what I really want is delete rarity from the fucking game. Look at all the hoops you are jumping through because of the existence of this fucking stat. Life would be easier for you as a developer, easier and better for us as players, if this fucking stat didn't exist. You are having to drive around this fucking bullshit. It is limiting your design space. I don't understand how you can't see this. And we as players don't like it because it is boring. I want offense on my gear or defense. I don't want 5-10% more items. That is stupid. That is nerd bullshit. Okay, even if a monster has high monster item rarity, sometimes you can still get a bad draw because you happen to get unlucky through the variance. That is obvious the case, right? Drop protection involves adding an additional item in the case where you didn't get lucky. So like a PT timer or something like that. With the items that naturally dropped, we already have some drop protection rules in place to prevent some of the worst cases, but we didn't think that they went far enough. We didn't feel this, right? I don't know what. I think that the majority of the players didn't feel like we had lock protection of any kind. We have made the following change. Except for a few unique bosses at the start of Act 1, all unique bosses will always drop a rare. This is a good change, and it is also good that they are like not giving you anything from the start, but they are limiting it like at the start of the game in Act 1. Not every boss has this, because they don't want you to be too powerful right away, so you feel the power curve. I agree with that decision. And then at some point, all unique bosses will always drop a rare item. That is fucking cool. In the campaign, you only get the guaranteed rare item the first time you kill the boss. In maps, you always get it. With this, they are basically trying to avoid that you reset a zone and kill the boss again and again and again and again and farm a bunch of rare items. I will be fine either way. Like, I am fine if it is only the first time. Yo! Uber go, my dude! You are fucking awesome, brother! Thank you very much, dude!
Uber_Goop gave up $3. Bruda.
Thank you so much, dude. That is fucking awesome, brother. Or maybe add quantity and rarity in Waystones as an implicit, not as a mod, and for each mod you have more quantity and more rarity. Hey, Fernando, that is a fucking good idea, right? Like, I would prefer for this stat to not exist, but that is a fucking great idea, dude. Because, let's be honest, guys, people right now are playing the game in a way that when you click when you slam the maps, right? If they don't have quantity or rarity, people discard the map and they try again with a different map. And people are only running maps. I don't care about that, by the way. I play whatever map. But people are only playing maps that have quantity or rarity. Well, if all the other maps are worthless, if you put this as an implicit, then not all maps are worthless. But I think that they like this thing. They like that some maps are worthless and that you are looking for specific maps. But wouldn't it be better if the things that make the map worthless is another thing? Like, for example, temporal chains. Well, I don't want to run temporal chains. Or something that interacts badly with your build, and then it is not something for every player, but it is subjective to every player. That would be much cooler, in my opinion. The developers seem incredibly narrow-minded, almost as if their goal is to make the game as frustrating as possible. My theory is that this strategy indirectly pushes away, let me see. Players who are buying items from, third-party Path of Exile sellers. Yes. That is what we talked in the video I uploaded a couple of days ago, and yes, dude. That's how it works in PoE 1, lol. Oh, okay, I didn't know. Yeah, pretty much wrong magic rarity map, exactly. So an 8 mod corrupted mod would be rewarding but dangerous as fuck. Okay, yeah, exactly. It is almost like they had a decade to work on PoE 1 and just forgot half of the lessons they learned. I have no doubt they resell the game items themselves through third party. Click that like button first. Hey, David, thank you, dude. Why is PoE 2 down? I don't know, dude, and they don't let me play the game. I want to play the game with my Lightning Thorns build, and I can't, dude. Oh god, temporal change. Only every other map and on a warrior gets a balance sold if that mod isn't removed. Exactly. That is what I'm talking about. Like, okay, a map that has temporal change, you don't want to run it, you toss it away. But right now it is, if it doesn't have rarity or quantity, it is fucked. Oh, that is boring. That is stupid. If there was no rarity, my Smith HP would be double. Exactly. The patch was deleting a skill gem somehow, so they roll it back. Yes. They buff too much, which is not in the vision, so it's bugged. How long is it down for? We don't know, Raider Power, dude. I thought it was going to be like 10 minutes, but there is a real possibility that it is going to be down for a while until they deploy the patch. And they said they were going to deploy the patch tomorrow, so I don't know. They haven't stated how long it will be, dude. Might be down until sometime tomorrow. Hard to say for sure. Yeah, it is too fucking long, dude. So, let's continue, okay? Asmirian Wisps. So, the new mechanic. The new mechanic sucks in terms of rewards. It is cool in terms of the mechanic itself, but the reward sucks. So, let's see what they did. Asmirian Wisps were a great example of content that wasn't feeling rewarding enough because item rarity was not having enough of an effect. Wisps now feel much better from those changes alone, but we also made the following changes. Rare monsters possessed by Asmirian Wisps now always drop a rare item. Fucking awesome. Fix a bug where the first wisp in the Grailwood didn't have its item rarity or quantity stats. We didn't know this, but this is fucking cool. But what I wanted to see here is that they always drop one of the new talismans, right? Because I've done a lot of Asmirian Wisps and they don't drop the talismans that are supposed to drop from them. So why the fuck am I doing them if I am not getting the talismans? Let's see if this somehow impacts the talisman. We still don't know. Maybe we modify the Atlas tree, the Atlas skill points, to see if we can get stuff from the Asmirian Wisps. Red and Magic chest. We didn't feel that Red and Magic chests were exciting enough to find. They suck. Sometimes you don't even open them because why? Ideally, each time you see one, you feel excited to open it. In order to fix this, we made the following changes. Magic chests have drastically increased item rarity and quantity. Fucking cool. And also guarantee at least a magic item. They are approximately as rewarding as rare chests were before. Awesome. Rare chests also have drastically increased item rarity and quantity and guarantee at least a rare item. We have been asking for this since the game launch, by the way. Why am I opening a rare chest and it doesn't have a rare item? In cruel difficulty, chests get a further 50% more item quantity and item rarity and 100% more in endgame, making them very powerful there. Okay, so now you are going to put the points. You can now find more chests in your maps or whatever, or in the waystone itself too. We have changed the map modes that increase the chance of finding magic and rare chests to instead add a fixed number of magic and rare chests. Okay. We did need to lower the chance of this spawning, of course, because nothing can only be upsides, right? You have to put the downside in there to balance it up. But you will still get a lot better items overall. Fine, cool. This is especially true in endgame where the number of rare magic chests was lowered substantially, but the major increases in results from these chests more than make up for that. Awesome, dude. This is awesome because yes, chests needed love, and since you have mods for chests, it is obvious they need love, dude. Okay. Strong boxes as a baseline have been increased to be equivalent to the new balance for rare chests. Specifically, strong boxes have increased item quantity and item rarity, guarantee a rare item, as well as getting a further plus 50% more item quantity and item rarity in cruel, and 100% more in endgame. I can see this is good, right? How can you criticize that? Researchers, strong boxes will now have a much higher chance to drop rare currency instead of magic currency. Awesome. Reduce the variance in the number of items strong boxes drop. They should more consistently drop a good number of items. This is also good. That is to combat bad luck. Of course, strong boxes also have mods that allow for further increase in item rarity. These mods were adjusted down for the same reason as the map item rarity mods. They were having too much of an effect relative to other mods after the changes to item rarity more generally. They have the same effect as before but show a lower value. So, now that they are talking so much about rarity in here, I want to say something. We don't know what the correct balance will be when the patch is live, right? Because maybe now it is viable to play the game without having to use rarity on your gear. But maybe it will still be required if you want in good loot to have some amount of rarity in your gear. For example, people were theorizing that you need 100% rarity across like some emotes, adding up everything that you have on your gear. Having around 100% rarity was good enough, and after that you get diminishing returns. But at the same time, if that is the case, it becomes like a requirement that you have, like, you know, like basically having 75% resistances is a requirement, right? Like having fire, cold lightning, 75% resistance, that is a requirement you need to have on your character. Basically, rarity at 100% was also a requirement that you needed to have. What I want to happen, of course, the ideal world is for rarity to be deleted, but that is not happening. Let's be honest, guys. We have to accept that rarity is here and it is going to stay. So the ideal scenario would be that you don't need to have this 100% rarity, that you can run with whatever you want in the character because you want the stat for something else. But if you want a little bit of extra use and your character allows it, you can get the 100% extra rarity. But that is not OP. The problem is that in Season 1, it was OP and it was required. You had to have it. Again, this is like the ideal scenario, but we don't know what is actually going to happen until the patch drops. Because this is an spectrum. Will people get the 100%, 50%? Nothing. Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Do you stack it as much as you can into the thousands? We don't know until people actually start playing the game and trying how much this changed, right? Because you also have to understand that what they say in here, further plus 50% more item quantity, this means that they are increasing by 50% the amount that it was there. But if that amount sucked, then 50% increase is also going to suck. Because if you increase 0 by 50%, it is still going to be fucking 0. I know it wasn't 0, it is a joke, but it is so you understand what I am trying to say. But again, we are getting ahead of ourselves. We have to actually play the patch to see how much loot is being increased by these changes. Second trial chests were very underwhelming considering the amount of work you need to do to earn them. Yes, Sekemas is a pain in the ass, and then you get to the chests and they suck. Okay, we have made significant changes here. Regular bronze chests now have the same base balance as rare chests do in the normal difficulty campaign, including guaranteeing a rare item. Nice. Silver and gold chests increase item rarity and item quantity by value significantly higher than before. Also awesome. Arcanist chests have had the same improvements to drop composition as researches strong boxes. Awesome. Arcanist chest currency and royal chest jewels are much more common. Thank you very much. Because if I am going to do the trial of the Suck My Balls, which sucks, I want to be rewarded for this shit. The chance of getting silver and gold keys as rune rewards instead of bronze keys has been significantly increased. That is also cool. Trial of Chaos. In the Trial of Chaos, we were finding that corrupted items rewards were no longer valuable in endgame. True, I do a lot of the Trial of Chaos. I do prefer the Trial of Chaos. I like it. And you get the fragments and the soul cores and you sell them. You profit from running the Trial of Chaos. But the corrupted items you get, the rare items, are useless. Nobody is going to trade you for them. They are useless and I just disenchant them or sell them. So maybe this will help to get those items on a better place so they are actually usable or tradable, you know. In order to improve the rewards, we have made the following changes. As you continue to increase the level you play the Trial of Chaos, corrupted rares are phased out from the rewards and rare currency stacks are phased in. Hey, that is cool. That is cool. Now that I run a lot of Trial of Chaos, so this will probably make my runs more profitable. Items that drop from monsters in the trial no longer have a chance to be corrupted. That is fine. Expeditions also received some improvements. Expedition magic and rare chests now have the same base balance as other endgame magic and rare chests. Normal expedition chests have also been improved. We also fixed a bug where increased chest item rarity from expedition regnants was not multiplying correctly with the chest item rarity the chest already had. These regnants will now have a greater effect. I didn't know this bug existed, but expedition felt weird when you actually do the regnants. So I was actually going for the runic monsters instead. Both the rewards from most expedition regnants mods, that is awesome. Double the number of expedition artifacts that drop, thank you. And increase the amount of exotic coinage that drops by 50%. Also really fucking good, dude. Delirium. The rewards you were getting from Delirium for going deeper into the fog were not high enough. We have made some changes here too. Increase the amount of item rarity per depth in Delirium encounters. It increases to approximately 2.5 times what it was before. Now, does this affect the Simulacrum? I have to think this affects the Simulacrum. And you know what I hate the most about the Simulacrum? Not that it is hard. I am okay with content being hard. You guys know that I said in the latest video, hey, I am fine if they increase the difficulty for Arbiter of Ash, for example. Hey, great. The problem is that Simulacrum is the perfect example of we playing PoE 2 or of us playing PoE 2 and the game is still playing PoE 1. Have you seen the monsters in Simulacrum? They come out of the grass, wah, poo, jumping at the speed of light, and they come out of nowhere, and they stun you, and they don't let you move, and they are 100, pa, 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 pa. Brother, Simulacrum is stupid, dude. Like, you are not playing the same game. It is something else, dude. Simulacrum is the pinnacle of everything that we complain about monsters in PoE 2. There are too many monsters. They swarm me. They stun me. They are too fast. All of that is in Simulacrum. And on top of that, you are enclosed in a little space with them. That is what I have to say about Simulacrum. Aside from that, Simulacrum is cool. The Delirious percentage scaling with waves in Simulacrum has been reduced. Each wave now adds 5% Delirious, previously 10% up to maximum 75% at difficulty 0, previously 100% and 150 at difficulty 4, previously 140. Okay, they did nerf it. They did nerf it. This is fucking awesome. I love this. This is fucking awesome. Accessibility to pinnacle content. In order to find loot more easily, it helps to be able to gain access to being able to find pinnacle content more easily. I talked about this in the video that I uploaded last night. I talked about this shit. So this is the way you know I was right. What did I tell you? Players need to be able to interact with the content. I don't care if the content is difficult and I go and I die, but I want to experience the content, to fight the content, to see how it is. Because sometimes it is so rare that it doesn't exist. There is still work to be done in there with citadels and omens, but at least they are increasing breach splinters by 50%, delirium splinters by 80%, and finding audiences with the king by 50%. We still have to see how much this is. By the way, it is still going to be annoying to pick up everything, like clicking every breach like an idiot. GG, fix that, dude. Make it out to pick up. When you go over them, you pick them up, because this is stupid, dude. And the same goes for the delirium splinters. That problem doesn't exist with the king, with the audience with the king, the audience with the king. But hey, this is positive. We still have to see how much this is actually playing the game, right? Other changes in 0.2.0G, we also make some changes to Corrupted Nexus. Reduce the number of Corrupted Nexuses unique to complete your Atlas Classic 3. Each Corrupted Nexus now grants 5 skill points, allowing you to complete. Thank God for this. I have to say, I didn't like the system in the first season, that it was complete 3 tier 5 maps. Complete 10 tier 10 maps. It was stupid. But the Nexuses are even more stupid. I prefer that the season 1 much more. But this will probably help. This will probably help. And then they say increase the visibility of corrupted nexuses so that you can see them from further away. We have to still see how much it is, because they said that citadels were going to be much easier to spot in the Atlas, and they are still bullshit to spot, because you have to get relatively close to them so the beam actually launches. If you are too far away from them, the beam, you can't see the beam. So that is fucking stupid. I am very positive about this. I think they are going in the right direction. They are still having bullshit with the Rarity stat. I will have at some point to have to stop complaining about Rarity, because I have to accept that it is not going away, right? But my opinion is that they are having to jump through so many hoops because of the existence of Rarity that it is not worth it. It is not something that is crucial for the game. It is not something that we need, and it is the base for the game, so that you can't remove it, right? It is like you are doing too many shit just to keep this stupid stat in the game. It is not worth it, in my humble opinion. What do you guys think? Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I a clown? Am I a genius? Let me know everything in the comments below. I love reading comments even when they don't agree with me. Also remember to like the video, to subscribe to the channel, all that cool stuff. Guys, thanks for being here. You guys are awesome. God bless you. And remember, don't be afraid ever, because this is just a ride.